It's Tuesday night, and you're here at CNM. Thank you for being here. We just have a few things going on tonight. You know, at first we thought we had a pretty thin night tonight. We thought maybe you were recovering from spring break, but you've obviously recovered. We just didn't realize we had so many wonderful breakout sessions. You all have now arrived into our main room. Looking forward to hearing our main speaker, but we've got some business to do first, and some of the important business we do is we always start off by opening in prayer, and Edie is going to have multiple chances to speak tonight, but she's going to start with us in prayer to begin with.
Shall we stand to honor God? Oh Lord our Father, we thank you, we honor you, and we bless you tonight because of your goodness to us. We love you, we praise you, and we worship you tonight because you have protected us all down the hours of this day. You've brought us to CNM, brought us to people who can help us, people who have poured out their heart, their soul, and their substance, so that some of us might be in the places that you have ordained for us from the foundation of the world. We thank you tonight for being in this place at this time, because you have already set it up for success for us. You have already showered your favor and blessing on us. You have already put us on the right path, and we thank you for it. We thank you for the servants that you have sent to us tonight, who will provide the wisdom, who will provide stories that will encourage and teach us. Lord, you're so good.
Yes.
We just want to thank you. We want to just thank you. If we knew other words in other languages to say thank you, we would say it. But right now, we just want to say thank you for all of the people that you have put in our lives, our leadership team, and everyone you have used to bring about this great place. We love you. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
And thank you, Edie. All right, well, we have some announcements to be making tonight. That's my job. See how well I do. So first off, is Krista Peterson, is she in the room, or is she still out front? If I'm trying to think who I can send out here. If someone would, Carlos, thank you. We're going to bring Krista in real quick. Okay, so first off, company that I work for, Lindsay Business Group, we actually have, any of you into taking care of or working with preschool kids? Because we actually have a full-time position with benefits out in Chantilly. You think of it sort of as a really sort of childcare, but it's a preschool group. If anyone might be interested in that, see me. And it looks like a person I want to acknowledge. Krista, come on up. Please give a round of applause for Krista Peterson, who's been one of our wonderful volunteers. She is headed off to California. And this might be the last time I'm going to have for her for at least for a few weeks, right? Yes. So would you please, we just want to thank you for all that you do. Please let us know what's going on with your world so we can all give you a round of applause and send you off on the right note from CNM. So.
Well, I'm making a bold step. Actually, my family's in Northern California, Napa Valley, and so I want to reunite with them, and so I will be conducting a job search there, and that will be interesting, exciting, and I've really enjoyed volunteering here for the last 6 months, and I've volunteered in other capacities here at McLean Bible. And it's been a wonderful experience, and it's been wonderful meeting all of you at the registration desk, and so just wishing all of you the absolute best in your life and your job search, and hope everything works out really well for all of you, and thanks for the leadership. The leadership here is great. So.
Please give Krista a round. We send you off with love, and we wish you the best. And one of the things, thank you, Krista. One of the things that we talk over and over again about is the value of volunteering, and I had a long conversation with some of our volunteers tonight. They had probably more important things to do, like help you, but instead I was bending their ear a little bit. And one of the things that's really amazing about what we do here is, I used to make this comment jokingly, but it's probably pretty serious. Imagine if we started a company and we hired all of you in this room. Would we not have an amazing company?
Oh, it would be amazing.
Oh yes, okay. So here's the challenge I'm going to throw out to you. You've heard us talk so often about volunteerism. Let me tell you that the people that I am probably most prone to recommend for anything are people that are volunteering. Why do you think that is?
Get to know them.
Get to know them, thank you. That's exactly right. And so I put the challenge to some of our volunteers tonight. I said, imagine if we somehow could find all of you in this room a project to do, some way to contribute here at CNM, where as soon as the speaker was done, you had to get to work and work with someone in this room to get something done for CNM to help support people finding their next job. Would that not be amazing?
Amazing.
Think of how many people that you could connect with, that you would really know their skills and abilities, so that when they say, would you recommend me, would you point me in the right direction, you would know what their talents are, rather than someone who's just sitting at the table, maybe they say a few words to you, they give you your elevator speech, and that's it. So, I lay down the gauntlet. We always have room for volunteers, and let me just tell you one thing not to get too hung up about with volunteerism. Again, I was joking with the group, you can volunteer for 30 seconds a night. You might not get as much out of it, but that's okay. If you want to just volunteer for an hour a month, that's okay. Don't think volunteering means you're becoming an indentured servant here at CNM and you won't have time to follow your own job search. Because you're here and we want you to find that next job. We just want to be able to help you best do that, and the more we know about each other's skills and abilities and see you light up when you talk about what you do, the greater the probability is that we can make a great connection for you and stand behind that referral because we know what makes you tick. Okay, so if you think you might be interested, we probably have some slots to help you fill. At least one 30-second slot somewhere in this organization, we can use your help, okay? All right. So that's my pitch for volunteerism. Okay, so one of the things that I also, by the way, I also want to see if she's in the room. Julie Mullen, are you here somewhere? Julie? No?
She is here tonight.
She is here, okay. So Julie is with a group called Training Futures, and they do some great stuff, training people that are looking for entry-level administrative jobs that may be from other countries, that have amazing careers somewhere else, but when they come to the States, they sort of have to start in at the ground level and go through a 6-month program. It's funded. There's like a $400 book fee, I think, is all the costs, and they go through this whole 6-month-long program. I don't know how many of you in this room are candidates for it, but if you know of anybody that might fit that bill, it's Training Futures, and they're with Northern Virginia Family Service. So just wanted to let you know that we're making greater connections with them, because truthfully, some of the graduates are coming here to network with you because they realize you're such a great resource for them. Okay. Before we do the best part of the evening, which is victory lap stuff, and those of you that are new here will learn what that's all about real quick, but before we do that, we always like to acknowledge intermediary steps of success. And so what's an intermediary step of success? What we'd like you to do, those of you that have had an in-person interview over the last week, would you please stand up so we can give you a round of applause? So if you've had an in-person interview over the last week, please stand up. And you guys stay standing. This is part of the exercise program. So you can stay standing. We're going to add to your ranks. Those of you that have had a phone interview over the past week, would you please stand up so we can give you a round of applause? Wonderful. Great. All right. Now, while that group is still standing, we're going to add to your ranks. Those of you that have at least met one other person through LinkedIn, through going out and doing networking, that you think that person is going to help you with your job search, would you please stand up so we can give you a round of applause? Okay. Now, those of you that are standing, what do we tell people that are still sitting down?
Get busy.
Get to work. Right. Okay. All right, now there is one other group that we always like to acknowledge, and that's those brave souls that have no idea what they're getting themselves into when they first walk in the door, and they see this mass of people and all these volunteers, and you know, a lot of us going around hugging each other, going, "What the heck is going on in this place?" So, those of you that have the red border around your name badge, that lets us know you're a first timer. Would you please stand up so we can welcome you warmly into our CNM. Make yourselves comfortable. Please come back. We've got lots of good stuff that we do every Tuesday night. So, but the most exciting thing for me is someone who is, to me, like a poster child of everything that we're all about here at CNM. One of our avid volunteers who's headed up our prayer warrior table, who sends out an email every week helping people pray for those that are in need. She always starts us off with a rousing prayer. She wraps us up with a rousing prayer. Edia has her opportunity to do a victory lap tonight, which means she's landed her full-time job. Would you please give her a round of applause? Give me a hug. All right. This is endorphin time for me, guys. Okay. So now, are you going to sing this victory lap, or are you just going to talk? Okay. Edia does lots of creative things when she does her prayers, but Edia, my pleasure to give you the mic so we can hear your victory lap.
Thank you, thank you. First, you got to do the end zone dance, you know. Oppa Gangnam Style. Okay, that was my end zone victory dance. It's not full-time, but it is part-time. I'm now part of the staff of Home Goods, the new one, the brand new one that's going to be opening in May. And I'm going to be surrounded by something and things that I'm really passionate about, which is, let's face it, my home. That's right, that's my main passion. Down from the Lord, it's my home. And so I'm going to be surrounded by crystal and china and rugs and furniture. And come on down and I'll help you out, because I am the best salesperson for home goods ever. Yes, yes. How'd I get that job? I was watching. I was looking. You don't find it if you're not looking for it. And I was looking. And in addition, I want to thank God because His favor came in the shower. It was unexpected. It came out from nowhere. But I, in my heart, know exactly where it came from. It came because I was at the position at the time, at the right time, in the right place. And the favor shower fell. And I want to tell you that step over a half a step, and you might just be yourself in the stream too. The favor shower is falling. Get in it. Yes, yes, yes. So this is only step one. This part-time job is only step one. There is a higher, another goal that I really, really want. The hook is going to come in not long, but not before this. I got to feel this. I got to see this. Because there will be a day when I will be presenting to you from this place. I'm declaring it, and I'm taking it right now, right now. And wherever you are in your life, and the Lord has given you a big, hairy, audacious goal, take it, accept it, embrace it, and be there. Get ready for it. Get ready for it. Your victory is coming. Get ready for it. Your goal is going to manifest I'm looking at it right now. I love I have this thing about visualizing. I'm visualizing it right now. Visualize it. Fix it in your head. Fix it in your head. Do a little something about it every day. It's coming. It's coming. Like I said, you only have a half a step to go to step into the stream of God's favor for your life. And He wants to favor you. He wants to bless you. He's here and He's waiting, just waiting to bless you. And I want Him to bless you. Every Tuesday night I come and ask the Lord to bless this place. And I want to thank Him. And I also want to thank you. You've been so supportive. You've been so good. You've been a real encouragement to me. And as I'm an encouragement to everyone who comes by prayer table, you've also been an encouragement to me. And if I spun out names, if I just called names, I'd be calling them all night. But I'm telling you, the favor stream is falling. Get in it. Visualize what you want. That's how it happened. Visualize what you want. Pray it. Pray it. Visualize it. Do something about it every day, little bit by little bit, and you'll land. You will land. You will get there. You will get there. I love you. Thank you so much. Get in it.
Down. Yeah. All right. Now, I just have to punctuate that with one thing, because some of you don't know Edia as long as I've known Edia. When I first met Edia, the reason why I keep on thinking about her is my poster child for what this organization is all about. You can't imagine how shy, quiet, insecure, all the things, and Edia would probably add a lot more adjectives to that, you would absolutely not recognize this person. Somebody got in her body. I don't know where the old Edia was, but that's not the Edia that I met 5 years ago. She is just amazing. And it's about how do you embrace and learn your skills, your craft, your talents, your passion. I'm sitting there and I'm not paying attention to any word she's saying. I just can't believe to see her so animated, so energized, so pumped, so into what she's doing. And Edia, that's just miraculous. It's just really wonderful.
It's the Holy Ghost, y'all. It's the Holy Ghost.
I thought it was all me. I thought it was all me. All right. Okay, all right. Well, we really do have a speaker tonight in addition to Edia, in addition to me doing his MC stuff. So let's get to that, because poor Curtis would probably like to get home sometime before midnight, and you'd like to learn from his wisdom. So let me tell you a little bit about Curtis Walter. During Curtis Walter's years in recruiting, he discovered candidates with marketable skill sets were denied job offers because of simple mistakes made in interviews. Have you heard that before?
Yeah.
They had backgrounds necessary to perform the jobs, yet had trouble surpassing their competition. Walter built interview of stature to guide job seekers quickly and affordably through a successful interview process. In 2006, Walter founded one of Washington, D.C. metropolitan area's fastest growing search firms, Stature LLC. Since 1999, he has enjoyed a successful recruiting career, coaching and placing candidates in small to multinational corporations, nonprofit organizations, and government contractors. Prior to 1999, Walter achieved 12 years as a national sales finalist in pharmaceutical, automotive, and telecommunications industries. Walter holds a BS in Business Management from West Virginia State University and an MA in Public Communication from American University in Washington, D.C. Walter was keynote career development speaker at the Golden Key International Honor Society's Asia Pacific Conference in 2013, Get Connected, where he was named the winner of the Asia Pacific Regional Award, drumroll, Regional Award, for the best professional event, how to land an imaginary job in a challenging economy. So, let's join Curtis in the depths of the interview arena.
job market arena is more competitive than perhaps it has ever been. There are more tributes in the arena than in the history of the world. How does this affect you? Tributes who were afraid to change careers the past few years. This time, experienced contenders with solid backgrounds are your competition. The only way for you to be the sole victor in this arena is to catch fire.
Ladies and gentlemen, Curtis Walter. That was actually Mal saying that. Or actually Mal's line that he forgot. Anyway, I'm not much for a dramatic entrance. But this year, it's a little different situation in the job market, isn't it? Everybody's starting to move around again. So not only are you competing against people who've been unemployed for a long time, you're competing against those people that have been on the job 6 to 10 years with 3 promotions. And they're your competition, and they're tough to compete against because that's who the employers want. So tonight, without further ado, we're going to teach you how to beat these people and how to come up with a game plan that will get you the job instead of them, because you're going to go in prepared after this lecture tonight, and they're not. That's all it takes. Interviewing's a game. It's a show. It's you going in. Yesterday I read an interesting article about a recruiter. He said he'd interviewed 10,000 people in 12 years, and everybody went online and said, oh, there's no way he could have done that. And I'm like, yeah, I worked for a third-party search firm for 10 years. You'll interview that many people. And everything he said I agreed with, and all the comments on the bottom were, there's no way that's true. Oh, you're supposed to be yourself. Why would he tell you not to be yourself? And everything I read him say, I thought, if these people would just do it his way and listen to his advice, because he interviews people every day, all day long for a living. And that's what I've done for the past 15 years. Some friends of mine are here tonight. I'm really thankful that they've joined me. I appreciate them being in attendance. And thank all of you for coming out. This is a big crowd. So we're not going to waste any more time. We're actually going to go to the next screen. I just read this yesterday and put it in the show. Steve Jobs said a small team of A-plus players can run circles around a giant team of B and C players. That is so true. It is so true. Because, see, these corporations, they figured this whole thing out the last 6, 8 years. First, they cut the fat, trimmed the fat. The fat was just dead fat. Just people that weren't working and they were making 50 grand a year, and they said, well, we don't need them. They're not doing anything but running around and talking around the coffee machines. So they got rid of those people first. Then, after the next couple of years went by, 2008, 2009, early 2010, then they started trimming some really good people. Well, the last 2 or 3 years they've trimmed people I question they should have trimmed. So there are a lot of people in this room tonight, a lot of good people in this room tonight with solid resumes and great histories that are wondering why they lost their job. And probably the corporations couldn't even come up with good reasons other than it was either cut you or they're going to get cut. So they got greedy, didn't they? They thought, we'll trim it down to a skeleton and see if it still operates. And if it doesn't, we'll bring in a consultant and pay them $400 an hour. That's a lot cheaper, right? So I don't understand these corporations. But anyway, they certainly don't care about America. They care about what? The bottom line of the financial statement, right? So whether you get a job or not, and you can support your family or keep your home or drive your car, does not matter to them. What matters to them is that corporate financial statement looks good. And if they can make it leaner and brag to their boss that they've done it by saving money, they'll do it every time. So we're going to see tonight if you like what I'm about to throw out there. It's certainly not It's certainly not typical, ordinary things that you're going to hear. And you may not all agree with me, but this is experiences I've had. All my material is based on 643 candidate mistakes made in 10 years of interviews. And I documented all the mistakes in Excel, and I developed online workshops. And if anybody's interested in me helping them, you can talk to me afterwards. We're not going to waste your time during this show. But it's all things that candidates did when they went into job interviews that cost them the jobs. And I said, somebody's got to start helping these people. If we help these people as recruiters, then we're going to make more money, because when we send them out for interviews, we're going to make fees. And my first boss told me, she said, that's really not what we do here. And I said, well, only 1 out of 100 people interview well. And she said, well, you need to find that one person. I'm like, great, that's easy, right? So I decided back in 1999 I was going to start building a foundation to teach people how to get the jobs. And there are A-plus players in this room. You could be an A-plus player going into the interview. You just have to be able to express yourself correctly. So we're going to talk about that tonight. Now, got to talking to a friend of mine a couple weeks ago. We were sitting in her living room, coming up with ideas for the show. We were trying to put the finishing touches on it. And we were talking about how a job is kind of like a job interview is kind of like a first date. And we're like, okay, well, there's a similarity. And we're like, well, there's a similarity. And we're like, well, there's a similarity. And we're like, hush, a job interview it is a first date. It's exactly what it is. So without further ado tonight, we're going to play the dating game. And I'm going to find some tributes right now. Starting with you in the blue suit. I just like your suit. Come on up. Here's the first lady. Give her a big round of applause for volunteering. Right up here. You're going to go on the left side, because that's the women's side. Let's see who else wants to be embarrassed tonight. Who can I find? Oh, you have to come out and play. Come on. You're just a natural. Come on. Come with me. Give Edie a big round of applause for volunteering tonight. Come on up, Edie. We're on the ladies' side. 3 ladies on this side. Let's see. Young man, we're going to bring you up just because you're close and attractive. Go on the other side, right over there. Give him a big round of applause. All righty? Let's see who else can we pick up this place too. Come on, through the ladies tonight. Big round of applause for this lady. Come on, people. They have no idea what they're about to go through. Give them a big round of applause. This man brought 5 people tonight. Let's give him a big round of applause for bringing all these people. Come on up. Let's embarrass them. Who else can we pick? We need one more guy. Do we have a volunteer tribute? No volunteers? Then it's you. Unfortunately. He volunteered. Give him a big round of applause. All right. The dating game. Now, gentlemen, come on up on the stage. You don't get off that easily. Step right up. Stand where everybody can see you. Ladies, come on up a little bit. All right, man, I know. No, we won't. Okay, gentlemen, now I need you to strike a tough pose, because, you know, you're trying to get a date tonight, so just strike a really cool, tough pose. Is that it? Is that all you got? Be cooler than that. Lean back a little, you know. There you go. Ladies, something sexy. Give us something sexy. Come on. Go ahead. Come on, you can do better than that. Do something, hands on your head, something. All right, I promise that's it, because I'm over the music. All right, so anyway, we're going to start by asking 8 questions that are similar to a job interview and a first date. We're going to base them on a date. Now, I wish Bo was here tonight because she's a great scorekeeper. Would you be the scorekeeper? Sure. So we're going to put men in a line and women, and we're going to see who can answer the most questions and which team wins. Do you think it'll be the ladies? Let's hear it. Yeah. What about the men? Is anybody rooting for the men in the room? Yeah, there we go. All right. Let's see who can win tonight. All right, first question. What's the hardest thing to overcome during your first date? Raise your hand. Nobody. There you go.
Nervousness.
Nervousness? Nerves. One for the women. All right. Big round of applause. There we go. Question number 2. What is your objective during your first date? Yes.
Kiss.
We know where his mind is, all right? That's not the right answer, okay? Who else? Yes.
See if it's a good match.
See if it's a good match? I'll give it to you. Finding a partner. All right. Let's hear it for the women. All right. There we go. Finding a partner. All right, and question number 3. What would immediately turn off your first date? This is the tough one. Yes, sir.
Appearance?
Appearance? Not the right answer. Right there?
Insulting her.
Insulting her? True, but not the right answer, but not necessarily untrue. All right, who else? Go. Bad manners. Bad manners? It's not the answer we're looking for. Who else?
Making her pay.
Making her pay. It's not the answer we're looking for, but all these are true answers. What else? Immediately turn them off. Cockiness is not the right answer. Anybody else?
Complaining
Showing
about
up
your
and
pay.
showing up late.
Showing up late? That's true, but not the answer we're looking for. We're looking for too much information. Has anybody ever gone on their first date and they got real nervous and they sit there and ran their mouth for 30 minutes and then they realized he doesn't like me? She doesn't like me. Right? Right? Because you ran your mouth too much. Too much information. That's a big one. Same thing in a job interview. Remember, the job interview too. If that can help you a little bit. Question 4. What has to happen on a personal level for the relationship to continue?
Attraction.
Connection.
Connection? What'd you say?
Attraction.
Attraction? I'm looking for just a simple answer. Connection, attraction, communication,
Chemistry.
chemistry,
Smile.
smile. It's simpler than that. What else? Go for it.
They like just like.
That's the answer. One for the man. The person must like you. Must like you on a personal level. Now, what is a definite buying sign during the date? Definite buying sign. Yes.
Wink.
A wink? You're still in the gutter. Winking and kissing, grabbing her face. You'll be like going on a date with Hannibal Lecter. Okay? All right? I'm not going to be in the parking lot after the show. If I do, I'm taking Bob with me for protection. All right, here we go. Who's next?
Intelligence.
Intelligence? Nope. Just a simpler answer than that. Definite buying sign. Somebody said it earlier. What is it?
He asked for a second day.
No, what is it? What is a definite buying sign during a date? A buying sign. Somebody said it up here earlier.
Smile.
Smile? No. No. You said it the first time. A connection is made. A connection is made. And that's what we were looking for then. If you can tell there's a connection from that person, they light up, they start talking to you, more exchanges, they talk more, there's a connection being made. And that's a buying sign. Okay? Remember, that's first interview, first date. Next question. How can you get your date to desire you?
Show off.
Show off? This is a tough one.
Show your interest.
Now, they need to desire you. What else can you do?
Offer me chocolate.
That would work, but that's not the answer we're looking for.
It's like communicate.
Communicate,
Compliment.
compliment,
Let them know you have what they want.
let them know you have what they want. It's a tricky, it's kind of a trick question. Don't reveal your complete thoughts. That's a tough one. You're in the job interview, and you're thinking maybe, maybe not, but you still want to get a job offer, you certainly don't come out and reveal your complete thoughts, right? If you're with that person and we're on our first date and you and I are thinking maybe, maybe not, we're not going to let the other person know maybe not right there. We're going to think about it maybe a little bit. On a date, we'll probably say maybe not quicker. But in a job interview, we definitely need to get some job offers under our belt so we have some leverage, right? When we finally get that job we do want. Well, I'm dating her, so it's like, you want to date me? She wants to date me, she wants to date me, she wants to date me. That's not the way you do it, but a job interview, if you got 3 offers on the table, you're going to get more money, right? When you finally get that job you want. We'll teach you how to use that later. All right, what is it, women 2, men 1?
Correct.
Okay, it's right down to the wire, folks. What's the one most appealing characteristic you could exhibit? One most appealing...
Confidence.
Confidence. 2-2. All right, give it to him. That's it. It's actually his second correct answer tonight. He just had them in reverse order earlier. Okay? So this last, we're right down to the final question. And this is the one that's going to decide who the winner is. And this is an easy one. So get ready. Watch the board. What's the first thing your date will notice about you?
Appearance.
The women are the winners! Let's hear it for the women, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for playing the dating game this evening. Thank you all very much. Give them another big hand. That was great. They did a really good job. Thank you all. All righty. On with the show, right? Let's talk about the way you submit yourself to employers. Now, a recruiting panel about a year ago sat right up here and told you, who was here a year ago? I was here. And told you they need something different. You can't send an email with a resume attached anymore because some assistant, recruiting assistant with no authority on hiring you whatsoever, takes that email, takes that resume, files it in a category. It goes deep down into the pits of the Taleo database. And it's never seen again. So you need something different. You need a video. Because one of my dear friends that was on that panel, that's the director of recruiting at Excella, said, what about a video? She said this, what about a video? So what did I do? I got my company on it. We designed an instructional video to teach you how to make that video. But anyway, I'll show you two different videos. You can judge for yourself which one's the best.
And I think I should be your accounting manager. Let me first address the fact that I'm having a horrible nail day. But besides that, let me talk about my accounting skills. Let me talk about bank recs. I love bank recs. They are amazing. Deposits in transit, outstanding checks, they leave journal entries that we have to upload, which is fantastic. Oh, and then we have AP, prepaids, fixed assets. Oh, and then we have financial statement preparation. We've got the income statement, balance sheet. Oh, there goes another nail. Our cash flow statement, footnotes to financial statements. And more nails. I think you should hire me. I think I'm the best person for the job. I'm Felicia, and I am your accounting manager.
Or this.
Is John. I feel I'm a perfect fit for your accounting director role. I'm a graduate from Brown University with a 3.86 GPA. I'm a certified public accountant with 11 years accounting experience, 4 years in Big Four public accounting, and 7 years in the corporate world. My public accounting experience at Arthur Andersen includes many audits of Fortune 50 to 1,000 corporations. I was promoted to senior auditor after only 1 year. As the accounting manager at ABC Company, my accomplishments include reducing the fixed asset close cycle by 4 days, automating the tax reconciliations using a macro, creating a template that made things easier for the financial reporting group, shortening our month-end close, and passing the SOX audit while having one of the most successful year-ends ever. Last year, ABC Company's Executive Committee awarded me Manager of the Year, while employees nominated me for Employee of the Year. With the recent $2 billion influx in cash from France Telecom, it appears ABC Company has a bright future as well as long, prosperous careers for its employees. I hope to hear from you, as I'm very excited about the potential of becoming your next accounting director.
That was good. I would interview him, wouldn't you? Yes. And when you send this to the employers, they're going to click on it. Because they're going to be, what's this video thing? They're still not doing it. Nobody's doing it. You can do it. You can do it on your own. This is all you need. When creating the perfect pitch for yourself, you need to use the right type of equipment. We used a little iFlip camera. You don't need extravagant video equipment. Little iFlip camera, a little $19 tripod, put it on a table, sit in front of it, adjust it, go back, play with it, put it into iMovie, do your own edits. How to set your stage. You want to be in a professional setting, right? You need to sit at a desk with a suit and tie on. You want to look your absolute best. Sit up straight. You know, you want to just have a real nice presence about you when you do this. Very professional. What to wear? Got to wear a suit, folks. I know a lot of critics out there saying, "Oh, you don't need to wear a suit to an interview anymore." Don't listen to them, because the person that wears the suit and looks like $1 million, that's the person who's going to get the job if they present as well as you, equally well to you. So make sure that you're dressed for success when you go into a job interview, and I'm sure everybody that teachers here will tell you that. If you're going for a construction job or to work at a McDonald's, not necessarily so, but most of you are looking for corporate professional positions or federal government contracting. It's all a professional setting. What makes a perfect pitch? Okay, it's the content, what you say. You've got to talk about your experience that fits exactly what they're looking for. So there's no sense in talking about doing financial analysis if they're looking for accounting work. Get it? So go back to the job description, write your script based on what they're looking for, and only put the headers of your accomplishments. We're going to talk about accomplishments here in a few minutes. I'm going to teach you how to build those. But only put the headers of your accomplishments. You don't want to go into detail on this video because you've got about 45 seconds. His video is about 45 seconds to a minute. That's all they're going to look at. Otherwise, they're just going to get bored. So say it very succinctly. Also talk about the company, what you found out about the company, why you want to work for them. That's very important, and we're going to talk about that a little more later. We'll talk about that throughout the show tonight. How to enhance your pitch. A little bit of music in the beginning, a little bit of music in the end. Maybe this music was a little bit too much. This is a great sound system, so it really brings out the flaws in the video. So maybe the music could have been a little softer. So you can evaluate that through your headsets. Get a good pair of headsets sitting there when you're editing your iMovie, or getting a friend to help you do that. A lot of people know how to use these editing softwares now online, so it's very simple to do. And then the perfect pitch email to employers. It's very important that you say the right thing, very short. Here's a short video that details my experience. You know, please take a look and let me know if you'd like to meet with me. I'm available to meet with you any day, at your convenience. So, very, very succinct, very short email, because they're not going to read a big email, but they're going to see that link to that video on YouTube. That's protected. Make sure that you close it, whatever you do. Don't have a video open to the public. What if your boss goes on there and finds it? Great. Oh, you're looking. I saw your video. That's great. Good luck in Hollywood. You're fired. Okay? 3 predominant reasons employers turn down job seekers. 3 predominant reasons employers turn down job seekers. What are they? Raise your hand if you have an answer. Is there one in the back? Somebody? 3 reasons. 3 predominant.
Not qualified for the job.
What's that?
Not qualified for the job.
Not qualified for the job? Who else? All right, over here.
Compatibility.
Compatibility? Over here.
Not a good fit for our team.
Not a good fit for the team.
Not confident.
Not confident? These are great answers. Anybody else?
Cannot articulate the benefit of hiring them.
Could not articulate the benefit of hiring them. Number 1, lack of preparation and research. Employers tell me every week they didn't know a thing about this job and they didn't know a thing about the company. I had somebody on the phone the other day. This is great. Well, it's been a couple months ago. And I said, so what do you know about Stature? And they said, which one were you again? Made me feel great. I'm like, okay, click. No, I didn't hang up there. I just said, thanks, I don't think you're going to be a right fit for this. Lack of ability to stand out from the competitors. Somebody said that. A couple people here said that. Not able to make yourself stand out and prove that you're a fit for the job. And then you lack the ability to create chemistry with the employer. We talked about that in the dating game. You've got to have that. Got to want you to fit in with the team, right? You have to be able to fit in with the team. The employer has to like you, period. I mean, Deloitte & Touche recruiter from Adelaide, Australia, told a group of 400 students, honor students, smile in the job interview. Everybody's so nervous they forget to smile. Nobody smiles. They don't show any personality. They're just wound up tighter in the drum, and they go in there and they don't loosen up and relax. People got to like you if they want you to be a part of the team. They got to think the other team members will like you too. So if you're just too wound up to show some personality, then who's going to want to work with you? You just come off too nervous. All right, how prepared do you need to be for a job interview? Next to the death of an immediate family member, a job interview is the most stressful situation you will ever encounter, okay? Here's a young lady that fell apart because of nerves.
This is the round of competition that ultimately determines their fate. The make it or break it moment. The ladies will have to demonstrate their ability to answer a thought-provoking final question. Sound simple? Easier said than done, especially when the whole country is watching. Here's how it works. Our panel of judges have prepared their own questions. So now, we will ask each finalist to pick the name of the judge, who will then ask a final question. Ladies, you'll have 30 seconds before you hear the sound of this bell. Good luck. We begin with South Carolina. Hello, South Carolina, please pick out the name of the judge. Thank you. Judge number 5, Amy Teagarden.
Recent polls have shown a fifth of Americans can't locate the U.S. on a world map. Why do you think this is?
I personally believe that U.S. Americans are unable to do so because some people out there in our nation don't have maps, and I believe that our education, like such as South Africa and Iraq, everywhere like such as, and I believe that they should, our education over here in the U.S. should help the U.S. Or should help South Africa. It should help the Iraq and the Asian countries, so we will be able to build up our future for our
Thank you very much, South Carolina.
She was on to something there in the end. But she didn't get around to it quick enough, did she? I think the subject was education, that she could have talked about a little bit better, had she been a little better prepared. There are only about 5 major categories for these ladies to remember that the questions are asked on. I would have gotten about 1,000 questions and gone through and categorized them and said, okay, here's some questions they could ask me in a job interview or on stage in a Miss USA interview. But certainly not making fun of this young lady. She fell apart. That was a hard question. Nobody, I mean, a lot of people hear the questions about world peace and how do we save the world from terrible diseases like AIDS and things like that. They're not, I mean, to hear that, you know, people can't find a location on a map, that's probably a new one for her. She probably blindsided, well, it did blindside her completely. But anyway, now I have a friend, this next video reminds me of a friend of mine, and this is the way she interviews. So if you're unprepared and you're nervous going into a job interview, this is not the type of person you want to be in front of.
Who are you? My name is Annie Sachs. I recently graduated from Northwestern University.
What are you doing here?
I came to New York to be a journalist, and basically it's this or auto universe.
So you don't read Runway?
No.
And before today you had never heard of me?
No.
And you have no style or sense of fashion?
I think that depends on what you're...
No. That wasn't a question.
Every time I send someone in to sit down in front of this lady, they're like, you're right, because I tell them, oh, she's so nice, you'll love her, she's one of my dearest friends, and she really is. I mean, I go over to their house, I hang out with them, I babysit their kids, I drink with them, with the parents, not the kids. But anyway, it's like, but you know, she's just a great person and one of the best people ever to work for. But in a job interview, she's no fun. She's really trying to get the drama, the dirt out of the person, and she can do it. They'll fall apart. They'll be so scared they'll just volunteer everything. You know, I'm divorced, I have 3 children, I have to be at daycare at 6 o'clock. It's like, why did you tell her that? Why did you tell her that? She'll come back to me and say, do you know what she told me during the interview? I said, I can only imagine. Pass, going on to the next one. I'm like, oh, for heaven's sakes. All right, so how many of you in this room have taken a test? For heaven's sakes, I shouldn't say that in the church. How many of you in this room have passed a test with a score of 100, knew you were going to pass it, stood up and walked out before everybody else? Raise your hand. At least once in your life. Anytime. High school, university, graduate school. I think I've done it once. I'm a B student. A lot of you. Okay? So when you went in to sit down for that test, you knew right then, I mean, you tutored the other students that came to you and said, how do you do this? How do you pass this test? And then you got up and walked away, everybody else sat there for 5 or 10 more minutes, the person that walked out of the room second, you waited in the hallway to see how long it would take for somebody else to come out, just for funsies, right? But anyway, you knew you were going to ace that test. Well, that's what you have to do in a job interview. You have to be absolutely ready. You're like, I know, but I get so many, all this different information. So just forget everything else you've learned and listen to me tonight. Okay? I'm not the end-all be-all, but I've got a proven track record of getting people jobs. So this guy, thumbs up, walked out, got the job. Let's talk about how to do it. Now you want to get your pens out. You got to write this down. If you don't memorize this formula and you don't use it, somebody's going to outdo you. Folks, how many in the room have interviewed people during your career? Raise your hand. A lot of you have interviewed other people to offer them jobs. So this is a great group to ask this question. Have you ever had, remember we said too much information, people go in and they just ramble? Have you ever heard anybody go in and say, well, I've done this, and 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 they figure if they say enough things, that maybe one of them you'll like, or two or three of them, right? So they don't really impress you with any of them. They just ramble on about what they do. And they'll talk nonstop for 2 or 3 minutes. You know? I had a candidate one time, I was like, it was like 4 minutes and 40 seconds. I'm like, stop. And he's like, what? And I said, I'm going to help you, but first of all, we're going to teach you how to answer questions. So we used this formula. And he got a job. Not through me, but he got a job. All right, so standing out from competitors, how to design an accomplishment. You have to go in. If you're a 5-year person, how many of the people in the room are 5-year professionals? Anybody? How many of you are in the 5 to 10 range after university or after high school? 10 to 15 range, raise your hands. Don't be ashamed to say this. 15 to 20? How many people are over 20? I'm over 20. All right. So, doesn't matter. 5 to 10, up to 5-year professional, you need 5 accomplishments. A 10-year professional, you need 10 accomplishments. A 15-year professional, you need 15 accomplishments. You need a list of accomplishments that you can pick from to get on the table during the job interview. And they need to be memorized. Has anybody ever memorized anything? Okay. These have to be memorized, word for word. Because when you memorize them word for word, you're not going to be nervous about fumbling your words, and you're going to go in, and I even want you to stand in front of a mirror and practice the delivery of these accomplishments. Or better yet, sit in front of somebody who likes you enough to sit there and be bored to tears, and just keep having them ask you questions, and interview questions, and you try to slide these accomplishments on the table, because these will get you a job. Okay? Accomplishments state what you did. Okay? That's your first sentence. It's going to be a paragraph. Second sentence is how you did it. Third sentence is why it needed to be done. Now, I know that a lot of people here preach the STAR method, situation, task, action, result. And I like the STAR method. It's good. It's telling a little story, too. The only problem with it is it doesn't talk about why what you did needed to be done. And if somebody's telling me they did this and this and this and they have these great accomplishments, I'm thinking to myself, if I'm a seasoned professional, seasoned manager, wonder if all that really needed to be done. But if somebody can convince me why they did something, then I know that they didn't waste their boss's or their company's money. Okay? That they actually did things that provided value. So I like this version better. I learned this 20-some years ago. I'm not going to talk about how old I am. Overall benefit to the department or the company. That's your last sentence. Now, folks, anything more than 12 words is a run-on sentence. It's what they teach us in graduate school with the communication masters. Anything over 12 words is too much, but you can extend it to 15. Some of the sentences I'm going to show you go over 12. If you have to extend it, really question in your mind, can it be one sentence or could it be cut up into 2? So you need to talk about what you did, how you did it, why it needed to be done, the overall benefit to the department or company. Let's look at 4 examples. Number 1, I designed and implemented cross-training for 2 colleagues on our systems reporting process in Excel. That's what they did. How did you do it? I provided sample documents for them to view as I went through the training on our conference call. Number 3, why did it need to be done? This needed to be done so there would be backup in my absence for continued workflow. And what was the benefit to the group or the company? Without these reports, managers' work would be interrupted. I was told this effort helped get me promoted. You can put a little tag on there. If your boss complimented you on something, if it got you a promotion, if it got you a bonus, if it got you a raise, tag it on the end. Those things, they light up to employers. Another thing that lights up to employers is, oh, my former boss took me to that job. Oh, really? Yeah, Bob Korsniewski liked me as his assistant so much he dragged me with him when he went to this other company. Really? Impressive. That lights employers up too. If you've ever been dragged somewhere, be sure and brag about it in the interview. Here's another one. I've always been an expert with product knowledge. As far as consultative selling goes, I listen to potential clients. I take time with them to make sure I understand their needs. Spending time with my clients has enabled me to help develop personal relationships with a lot of these people, many of whom have sent me referrals. During my 6 years at ABC Company, I was responsible for $100 million in sales. And this is not made up. This is a friend of mine, a really good friend of mine. I changed the name of the company to protect the guilty. I led a university group project that required a client audit. Our group spent 2 weeks analyzing processes and reviewing the client's financials. The client admitted their procedures for pricing, follow-up, and collections were somewhat antiquated. By the end of the semester, the client contacted me and said our group helped them make and recover more than $600,000 in revenue. And number 4. While working at a movie theater, I took the initiative to train new employees on the guidance of customers to purchase tickets on our 10 new ticket machines. If we saw a customer struggling, we walked them through the purchase process. Until we started using the new machines, people were walking away because they had to stand in long lines. My boss said my efforts helped increase ticket sales 40%. And that's somebody very young and very inexperienced, maybe a college job that they had. I got to quit saying college. I have to say university because when I go to Australia, they're like, no, college is a dorm. It's a dormitory. I'm like, okay, I got to learn that. To learn the language. So you can build these, but you want to build them to fit the job description. So first, you find the job description, and a lot of people hear, well, I've done this for 20 years, but I'm really looking to get into something else now. But I know what I want to do. Well, it doesn't matter if you don't have the skills for it. Employers today, they're definitely not in the mindset today to hire people that don't have the experience that they need. Whether you're coming through a recruiter and they're paying a fee for you or not. A recruiter's not going to present you if you don't have the right background. But if you're just looking for something different, you have to have the skill sets to do the different job. There are things you can transition to because of your background. I talked to a gentleman this evening who has a background in music for the military, and he'll have a lot of transferable skill sets. But you have to make sure that your accomplishments would fit what they're looking for. You're just wasting your time going to the interview. I mean, your gas and your dry cleaning money and all that. Bless you. All right, 2 main reasons corporate interview professionals are jaded. Why do you think they're, believe me, I hear every story from every one of them, especially when they're getting ready to hire one of my candidates. How long is it going to be before she leaves? Don't talk that way. That's what I tell them. Do not talk that way to me. She's going to stay forever. They never do. But anyway, why do you think they're jaded? 2 reasons. Raise your hands.
Heard it all.
Back in the back? Overworked. The corporate interview professionals, believe me, they're overworked. They're interviewing and interviewing and interviewing, and they're still not finding the right people. Young lady right up front, you said something.
They've heard it all before.
They've heard it all before. Who else?
They want to screen you out as opposed to screening you in.
They want to screen you out. Aren't they?
Highly judgmental.
Oh.
And they may miss opportunities of finding you.
A couple of years ago, my partner said to me, because you're just jaded. You're just jaded. So, well, I'm old enough to be. You're right, though. That's because they've been burned so many times. You get burned so many times, you start getting a little bit of a shell. Who else?
They don't have the actual job description that they're looking for the purple squirrel.
Right. Right. Anybody else?
They often don't know what the performance looks like, and they are not capable of communicating that. So these job descriptions are shelved, and the actual performance with underlying is not often communicated or given.
Yeah.
And for the interviewee, it would, in my estimation, be a good idea if they would take that and demonstrate their performance.
I'm so glad you said that because we're going to address.
The vision of how they operate and work on a day-to-day basis, because the recruiters cannot, these corporate recruiters cannot do that. They don't see the vision.
Right. Corporate recruiters have a hard time seeing the vision for the boss. And I'm glad you brought that up because we're going to address it earlier. It's not what we're looking for right now. But anyway, it's a good answer. Okay, now let me show you. Number one, the applicants slip by HR recruiters only for the hiring manager to find out they're not right for the positions. Now, you did say that. I think a couple of you alluded to that, right? Here's a lady that slipped by.
To make sure that I have all this straight, basically, you have no experience, no college degree, no resume, no work history whatsoever, in fact, and now you would like to be a lawyer.
No, see, I'm sorry, but when I read the ad, it said that you were looking for a secretary.
Okay, well, you need to learn how to type, you'll need computer skills. Most of our secretaries have college degrees. In fact, most of them have specialized in law. I don't mean to sound harsh, but frankly, it's a little insulting. I see you're from Daytona Beach, and all that looks great. It must be wonderful, but can I tell you something? When the beach party is over, you don't get to say, you know what, I think now I'd like to have what everybody else has worked their entire life for. It doesn't work that way.
I cut that video just in time. Or it would have gone rated R real quick. It's a terrible movie. But anyway, that's what happens. People slip by the HR recruiters, and if too many slip by, they just get new recruiters, right? That's all it takes. We just fire that person. They've sent me 8 people. I don't care, fire them. 8 people, 8 hours of my time, cost the company a lot of money. So, number 2, employees have hundreds, sometimes thousands of candidates who promise the world only if they were given a chance. Candidates will tell you, oh, I'm looking for more of a challenge. I need to be challenged. The employer gives them the challenge, they can't do the work. I'm ready to take on more responsibility. I've had employers tell me she couldn't do what we gave her. I'm looking for a home. I can see that. From the looks of your resume, you've had 20 homes in the past 10 years. Candidates promise the world, and I'm not against you because you're candidates. And if it wasn't for candidates, recruiters would not make a living. I'm all about the candidates, and I'm probably more about helping candidates than any other search firm out there. But I'll tell you, recruiters do get genuinely, or I'm sorry, hiring authorities do get genuinely burned. And when they do, how does that make them look to their boss when they make a bad judgment call? So they take, when you make these general statements to them, they take them with a grain of salt. And it's almost a waste of your breath saying it. You're better off talking about your accomplishments. Okay? So you've got these wonderful accomplishments built, right? Let's talk about the danger of you appearing a flight risk before we go into those. I want to talk to you first about what do you think a flight risk is. Who can tell me in the room what a flight risk is to an employer?
Job hopper.
Job hopper. Somebody that takes off very quickly.
Somebody that comes in, gets the training, and then leaves.
Right, absolutely. Who else? Somebody that's overqualified. Who else?
Will leave when the next best opportunity shows up.
Yeah,
Just wait for it.
That's a beautiful answer right there. 3 determining factors of a potential flight risk. Number one is your salary history. Okay? Good luck convincing somebody you were making $90,000 and you'll accept $65,000. Good luck. If you can do that, you're a better recruiter than I am. Because they're not going to buy it. You're going to be like, yeah, when somebody offers her 80, she'll be out the door. Number 2, level of responsibility in your past jobs. Well, he was a director of accounting at this company. That's what the recruiter tells the vice president of accounting. He's like, yeah, we're looking for an assistant accounting manager. And you know that. Why are you trying to sell a director to me? He's got Big 4 experience. What's wrong with him? Why can't he get a job? Very important. Level of responsibility they look at. And number 3, what you ultimately want to do. Good interviewers are going to find out where your trigger points are, where they lie. And if you're not sure what you want to do 5 to 10 years from now, don't tell them. Don't. Don't bring that up. Come up with a career path for your next 5 to 10 years, and don't say, I want to be in your job. I love it when somebody, tell them you want to be in your job. That shows ambition. Could scare that person to death if you're good. I would like to be perhaps in the same position, or perhaps I would have received a promotion within my 5 years of being here. Once you see, how well I perform, given a lot more responsibility than what I'm initially given in a 5-year period. Nothing wrong with that answer. How to refrain from being labeled a flight risk. Now you want to write some of these down because this is very important. There's a way to do it. Number 1, know the exact skill sets the employer is looking for. Now I agree with you. Job descriptions, horrible. Some of them are 10 years old and they just don't want to rewrite them. They use the same template. Excellent written and verbal communication skills. Who doesn't have that? Excellent Microsoft Office skills. It's like being able to feed yourself these days. Great. I know nothing about this job from looking at the job description. All right? We're going to talk about that in just a moment. With your accomplishments that you've already, I'm sure some of you have been sitting there thinking about scripting them out when I speak, which is good, because you'll be the one to get the job. Revise your resume to highlight the skill sets that match the employer's needs. Get rid of the other stuff. Well, I can't change my resume. That's falsifying my background. No, it's not. Not if you've done this stuff. It's not falsifying anything. You can have many different versions of your resume as long as what you put on the resume is true and you're not overstating something. If you did not lead a team, don't say led a team, because when they run your reference, and they will, and they'll talk to your former boss, and they'll say, well, I just was so amazed at her being able to lead this team. They said, well, she didn't lead it. She was a member of the team. Oh, really? So she lied. People do it. Present accomplishments that prove you're a perfect fit. I had a gentleman I interviewed about 2 weeks ago. And I said, well, tell me, why do you feel you're a fit for this position? And he went through it's like he had it scripted. It was a phone screen, which is fine. You can read your accomplishments in a phone screen if they're not all quite memorized. But he just went through all the stuff that he'd done, and I thought, that's not what my friend is looking for. It's not what they're looking for at all. And I'm like, okay, he just doesn't get the assignment, I guess. Be able to talk about why you're excited about the organization and the position. You need to be excited about the organization. Now, I got to tell this story since there were only a few of you here a year ago when I spoke last. I'm going to make it quick. I had a friend who I placed at an airline in an assistant controller role, and I coached him for the interview. And he's like, Curtis, I got to tell you, that coaching you gave me was excellent. It really helped. I said, really? That means so much to me, Brian, because you're a 20-year professional, CPA, MBA, and you came from a public accounting background. I said, I'm flattered. He said, no, it really worked. So anyway, he got inside. He started using me to find his employees, 15 of them. I placed 15 people at this airline. And so anyway, he had a young lady come in for a senior accountant interview. And she'd had, I think, a year of public accounting, and then she'd worked like 3 or 4 years in corporate. And it was a nice corporation, nice-sized corporation, mid-sized corporation around here that was well-known. And I said, now, whatever you do, be sure and read this interview technique workbook, because back then I had to, I think I passed it out. I think I printed them out and gave them to people. And I said, be sure and know something about the company. You've got to go on their website, highlight a couple of things, print them out, put them on your portfolio on top of your resume. Lay it to the side so they can see the letterhead from the airline and what you highlighted. And she went in and proud to sit down. And, she was a little bit arrogant. She shouldn't have been. But anyway, she opened up her folder and laid her accomplishments to the side, and Brian went snatch. And he said, as soon as I snapped that up from her, I knew I had her. And I said, what do you, because he called me afterwards to laugh about this. I'm like, I didn't think it was funny. I lost $10,000. But anyway, he snatched that up, and he said her eyes she was like a deer in the headlights, caught in the headlights. And he said, so, and he started flipping through these 15 pages of highlighted information. She highlighted 15 pages of stuff from their corporate website. Tell me what you know about us. He's flipping through, reading what she's highlighted, looking at the headings. She's like, he said all that came up was like a He's like, I didn't know if she was clearing her throat or she burped or what happened, but he said it was definitely not an answer that I was looking for. She knew nothing about the company, nothing. You go into somebody's house, even if their baby's ugly. You look at that baby, they take the little blanket down, and you look at that baby, you're like, ooh. I mean, that's what you want to do, but you refrain from doing that. Don't you say something nice? Oh, little Tessa, she's something else. God bless her. For sure. So, but you say you know her name, you know a little something about her. Oh, she's toddling. That thing doesn't toddle over my house. It's terrible. But anyway, there's no such thing as an ugly baby. We all know that. But anyway, but the people are so proud. Well, people are proud of their companies. They're very proud of their companies. And you've got to go in and you've got to know something and say, well, I'm thrilled to even have the opportunity to work here because of that $2 billion influx in cash you guys just got from France Telecom. You're expecting some growth soon probably from that, right? And then they start opening up and they start talking. Remember that first date, that person starts opening up and talking to you. Okay, you hit one of their trigger points. They like you. And they're like, wow, okay, they went online and found something that makes sense about our company. Now, the job, you got to know something about the job. Well, you're going to know something about the job. You're going to know several bullets in that job description, right? Because you get ready to pounce on this employer with their accomplishments. And then find out the salary range early in the process, folks. Ask the recruiter, the recruiting assistant, whoever calls you first. Ask your friend that's getting you into the company. If you're making $100,000 right now and this job pays 40 to 60, you're wasting everybody's time, including your own. They're just not going to take you seriously. Hollywood poise. I have to put this in the middle of the show because it's so much fun. Who in this room has Hollywood poise? Gosh. Looking around. Who wants to volunteer to come up here and introduce themselves to me that think they have good poise introducing themselves in a job interview? Because if you don't, I'll volunteer one of you. Anybody? I need a tribute. District 1? Nobody? District 2? No? Anybody? Come on, somebody volunteer. Come up here and introduce yourself to me. Somebody. Right back here. Thank you. And give her a big round of applause. Very nice. Walk right up those steps and introduce yourself to me. Let's have you come around this way and walk up these steps so everybody can kind of see your profile. So I just stood up from my desk and you just walked in my office and hello there. Thank you. Nice to meet you, Karen. Well done, right? Very nice? Give her a round of applause. All right. Karen certainly has the poise. She certainly has the interview attire on, although I recommend a business suit for everybody. But I will say this about Karen. She holds herself well. She's got a nice smile. It was very engaging. So many things about her that was right. The one thing I recommend each of you do is say, Mr. Walter. I don't want to be called Mr. Walter. It makes me feel old. I'm already midlife is past me, I think. So that'll just put me into a deep depression. Start calling me. But if you interview with someone, Mr. Smith, Mr. Korzeniewski, thank you for the time you're taking to meet with me today. That's the first thing you say to them. Nobody in Northern Virginia says thank you. Nor do they say please. Nor do they say yes sir, no sir. Nor do they hold the elevator for you. Now, probably at McLean Bible Church. But I'm telling you, this area has got a coldness to it. It's hard to compete with. So when you go in, let everybody else be cold. You walk in, Mr. Korzeniewski, thank you for taking the time out to meet with me today. Well, you're more than welcome. Nobody else is going to say that. Say that first. And when the interview is over, yes sir, no sir, yes ma'am, no ma'am, a few of those in the interview. And when the interview is over, thank him again. Say, I really do appreciate your time today. Thank you so much. Big smile on your face, warm smile. Don't let that be the only 2 times that you smile. If that's the only 2 times that you smile in the interview, you're not going to get the job. It's going to come off phony. Let your personality come out. Relax a little bit. Think about him. No. But anyway, you have the Hollywood, don't do that. Mr. Korzenowski. Okay, you had it. You really had it. You had the voice I was looking for, just like these ladies. Okay, why employers are using pre-interview assignments. This is a short and sweet subject. It takes 3 minutes. I just hired an assistant. He's here tonight helping me, and he's a graduate with a master's degree from American University, a very prominent school. And one of the things that I liked about him is I said, well, I'm going to give you a little assignment to do. I said, if you were to promote me globally, put together a packet that would do it. So do your research. There's a lot of stuff out there about me. I don't think there's anything negative. I hope maybe after tonight there will be. But anyway, I said just find what you can and put together what you can. And he put together this beautifully written pictures, quotes from people that I've worked with in the past, and it was just so well done. But why are they using pre-interview assignments now? Employers just don't trust people anymore, just like you said. But rightfully so, a lot of them. They've been burned so much over the years, especially now when there's so few jobs and so many job seekers. Monster.com, 1 in a billion anymore. That's how they should advertise. Use our service, 1 in a billion. Find that one. I can't do it. It's tough to find people these days. Referrals. Everybody here that helps you and guides you and teaches you will tell you, work through referrals. Employers still trust referrals. They still trust employee referrals. It's your best source of getting your foot in the door. And a little video. To judge the timeliness of your deliverable, to evaluate the tenacity and efficacy of your work. I think you got that assignment back to me in 2 days. In 48 hours I got that back, and it was very well done. I was very impressed. It had tenacity. And to determine your ability to communicate the English language. You would not believe the people that I see writing, even their profiles. I go on LinkedIn and I read their profiles and I'm like, oh, there's a grammatical error. Go fix that. Who teaches LinkedIn in the room? Somebody teaches it here. We can't have grammatical errors on LinkedIn. That's the first thing an employer looks at. Attach your LinkedIn profile and make sure you have a good one before you attach it to your submission. What are questions you ask during an interview? Why are questions you ask during an interview important? Who can answer that question? It shows you're engaged. Who else? It shows you've researched the company. Exactly.
Shows your intelligence.
Shows you're intelligent. Absolutely. What's that? It shows you're interested. Who else? It establishes rapport.
You can think on your feet.
You can think on your feet. Exactly. I want to say that none of these answers tonight have been wrong. Nobody's really had the wrong answer. It was maybe not exactly what I was looking for. These are excellent answers. Number 1, you keep the interview conversational. It displays your interest on your part. Who said that? Displays your level of interest. Number 2, your questions enable you to steer and control the interview. And you're like, wait a minute, I'm not supposed to steer and control it. Oh, yes, you are. Because you have to get those 6 accomplishments on the table, right? Or 8 of them. You've got 10, you're a 10-year person. If you get 2 on the table, do you think your interview is going to be very effective? I don't think so. I think somebody is going to go in, maybe in this room tonight as your competition, to get 8 of them on the table, and they're going to get the job. Identifying what the employer needs provides opportunities to segue into your accomplishments. So you want to find out what they need, right? 4 intelligent interview questions. The first one, if I were to accomplish, Bob likes this, if I were to accomplish 3 things my first month of employment, and you were to consider me a quick study, I've changed it a little bit. What would those 3 things be? A friend of mine said, what about quick study? I said, oh, I like that better. If I were to accomplish 3 things my first month of employment, and you were to consider me a quick study, what would those 3 things be? Well, number 1, it shows that boss that you're ready to get going. 3 things in 1 month that would impress them, that's somebody that's a go-getter. Number 2, he's going to name 3 things to give you 3 opportunities to get your accomplishments on the table. You may get 2 of them on the table right after that. That's why they need to be 45 seconds or less. 12 no more than 15 words per sentence is 45 seconds of conversation. Anything after, you get up to 6 seconds to catch their ear, up to 20 seconds to hold their ear for no more than 45 seconds. If I remember the statistics correctly. Interviewers don't hear what you say after the 45th second. Nobody hangs on that long. So 45-second answers, timer. In your opinion, what accomplishments would a person achieve in their first year of employment to exceed your expectations? So you're going to evaluate me for a raise in a year, right? And if I exceed in every category, I'm going to get the maximum raise. And I want the most bang for my buck. Some of these corporations around here, you want to get the full 3%, right? It's terrible. I read an article on that yesterday too. I'm like, yeah. The increases, the raises that people are getting inside corporations are affecting our economy, affecting spending, slowing down economical growth. I read an article on that yesterday. I think it was Bloomberg. That's scary. Because corporations have tightened, they're tighter than tight can be right now. They got it down to a science, don't they? They got it all figured out. What have other employees done in this role that stood out? I want to stand out. What did you like about Sue? Sue who? Sue, your last employee. You forgot about Sue already. You wooed them. Sue's gone. I have a Sue in my life. What skill sets are most important to you for this position? They might name 3 things again. They may name 5 things, giving you a couple of chances to slide your accomplishments. And you're like, well, okay, so they answer the question, how do I gracefully get these accomplishments on the table, these paragraphs? You just slide them in. Well, it's interesting that you're looking for somebody that can manage the month-end close process, because at ABC Company, I was in charge of the month-end close process. I created a spreadsheet in Excel that automated there you go with your, see? See how you just slide them on the table? So count them in your head. Remember the old-fashioned cash register with the handle or the cha-ching for sale sign came up?
Yeah.
It said sale sign. Every time you get one of those accomplishments on the table, I want you to hear that little bell go off in your head, because your dollar amount just went up. Your dollar amount goes up every time you get one of those accomplishments on the table, as silly as that sounds. The range on the position is 68 to 80,000. You were making 54 in your last position, and you get 8 out of 10 accomplishments on the table. Well, don't be surprised if they offer you 70. They're not going to offer you 80. They're not going to take you from 54 to 80 these days. Typical is about 10%, but the good candidates I send in, the good candidates are getting 20%. And the great ones can get even more, but you've got to get those accomplishments on the table, so just slide them in. Ask questions, make it conversational. All right, now the salary conversation. This is a big one. Everybody's like, oh, I hate it when it comes to it. What do I say? What do I do? I don't know. I've been unemployed for a while. How do I negotiate? I haven't been working for 2 years. Well, guess what? You can still negotiate. I mean, you have to be, you can't have this number in your head, this is what I made 2 years ago and that's it. I have to make that amount of money right now. Well, you're in a bind then, because they're going to take a shot at you. They definitely are. Because you've been unemployed for 2 years. They know that. So if they like you enough to offer you a job, you need to be somewhat flexible. I don't think you should be unreasonably flexible. So if you were making $110,000 and they come in at 70, that's unreasonably flexible. 2 years, it's only been 2 years, you have the exact skills. You're obviously the one they want, right? Because they're offering you a job, well, you're still worth 90 or 95, and maybe there's a 10K bonus on top of that. The 10K bonus, maybe you'll accept the 90 or 10%, you're still going to get 100. And then you're going to get raises. So you got to be reasonable about it. And a lot of candidates aren't. They think, I'm worth this, I've always been worth this, I'm not taking less than this. You can be a little bit flexible. But there are ways to handle the salary conversation. Here's a lady who got offered a job, and she responded before they told her how much she was going to make.
I don't believe it.
One more time.
I don't believe it.
Anybody want to hear it again?
I don't believe it.
her dollar figure just went down. My niece's husband called me and he wanted me to help him with interview technique, and he had an MBA from Northwestern University, probably the top MBA school in the country, and 16 years as a sales engineer manager, IT sales engineer manager at Siemens Corporation. And so first of all, I said to him, I said, why do you want my help? You don't need it. I'm nervous when I go into a job interview. I literally fall apart. And I said, I don't think you will. I said, I think you're going to do a lot better than you think. He goes, no, I want your help. I said, okay, all right. So anyway, he went to the first interview, and I said, well, how'd it go? And he said, well, they're asking me to come back. They want to fly me to Minneapolis. And I said, okay, all right, good, good. I was a little nervous because he couldn't really put a sentence together when he was talking to me. He was one of these highly creative, you know, you could just tell he was a wizard. And I said, well, okay, you'll do well. I said, just, you know, prepare your accomplishments like I taught you. And, you know, so I gave him the whole routine. And so he goes, and he had good interview questions prepared and all this. And he goes up, and he does the second interview. And he said after that, there's supposed to be a third interview, and then I'm supposed to go back and meet the CIO of the company. I said, okay, you'll be fine through all those interviews. So he goes back, and he calls me after the second interview, and I said, well, how well have you done? And he goes, well, they told me I'm the only candidate that they're considering right now. I said, okay. He goes, so what do you think I should do about salary? I said, ask for anything you want. You've had 2 interviews, you were supposed to have 4, and they're telling you you got the job. They're just trying to figure out the salary. And he goes, yeah, well, he goes, well, I was going to go for this. I said, add 20,000 to that. You'll get it. He did. He did. He got it. So anyway, things to remember when handling the salary conversation. This is important, folks. Only state what you're currently making. If it's your first position, research the industry standard. But I think is anybody going for their first job in the room? I don't think so. I know one person who is. But make sure you know what's standard. You don't want to ask for too little on your first job. Number 2, it pressed to say something. If the HR manager, like my friend, the Devil Wears Prada, Meryl Streep, sits you down in front of her and says, how much do you want? How much do you really, really want? Okay? At that point, you're going to feel compelled to say something, right? Answer, money is not my main focus. Employers love it. They love it. Money is not my main focus, but I'd be willing to accept what you feel is a reasonable increase over and above what I'm currently making. In other words, I'm not going to take less, and I'm not going to take the same. Don't offer me a lateral. You're wasting my time. So, and say it with a little bit of attitude, because you're currently employed, and that's who employers want. If unemployed, in my last position, I was making $80,000. So I'd like to be in that vicinity salary-wise. Would you accept 75 with a 10K bonus? Yeah, probably so. Would you accept 60? No. No, that's far below what my skill sets would command, even today. So that's what I would say. We're going to answer your questions in the end. And try to silently evaluate the employer's level of interest at all times. Meryl Streep didn't like the way she was dressed, but Meryl Streep hired her, didn't she? In The Devil Wears Prada, she got the job anyway. Didn't like her appearance. We can always fix your appearance. What's that? Could have been, but let me tell you, appearance is very important, especially if you're going for a corporate job, folks. Do your research, okay? You know, everything about you you need to look your best. Get a haircut. No hair on your neck. Clean shaven. Clean fingernails. I look at everything. If you got a stain on your tie, I'm going to see it. If your shoes aren't polished, I'm going to see that too. Ladies, if you got a runner in your hose, I'm going to notice it. Go and buy a new pair of hose. Put them on before the interview. They look at these things. Women look at women worse than men look at men. So if you're in front of a woman and you got a run in your pantyhose and you got a skirt on, you're in trouble. It looks like you didn't take the proper time to actually prepare for the interview. Have a spare pair of pantyhose. If you got a scuff on your shoe, wear a different pair of shoes. If you can't get the scuff out with polish. Men, go to Nordstrom, to my friend William, Dulles Town Center, $250. There's not a shoe shine in the world. I've had my shoes shined all over the world. Nobody can shine shoes like William at Dulles Town Center. I shouldn't have done that, Bob. I'm sorry. I'm not supposed to be promoting up here tonight. I promise. But I love William. So try to silently evaluate the employer's level of interest at all times. And whatever you do, don't give an exact figure to a potential employer, especially a third-party recruiter. I had a manager. I heard of the manager going to his boss and saying, I got her for 55. I got her for 55. And the boss is like, well, I thought she wanted 70. Yep, saved us $15,000. It's awful. It's awful. So just use the statements I taught you. Never tell a third-party recruiter. You don't know if that person's a seasoned professional or if there's somebody that thinks they can be in third-party recruiting to make some fast cash. Those are the same time people that think they can jump into financial investing, real estate, third-party recruiters. I'm a headhunter. Oh, really? What have you done? How many have you hunted? How many interviews have you done? How many years have you been in the business? Impress me. Headhunters won't try to downsell you to employees to make a quick sale. We get a percentage of your first year's salary. I'm going to get you as much money as I can. I get more. It's common sense, right? It's like somebody coming in, a bad realtor. Oh, that's going to have to be, oh, look at these windows. The seals are broken. They walk through and rip your house apart and try to talk you down $30,000, $40,000 in price on your home. That's a bad realtor, bad realtor. Let's build it up. Put a little paint for $10 somewhere. Have one window replaced. They're not all broken. You know, that costs $100, whatever. But don't try to downsell somebody's potential when you can upsell it and teach the candidate how to upsell their abilities. So that's what you do. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for having me here tonight. I really appreciate it.
Curtis!
Yes, Game Man.
Aren't you forgetting something? Something very important?
I've taught them everything they need to know.
You haven't painted a realistic picture of what actually happens in the arena.
What's that?
Most contenders don't follow your plan.
That's true.
Tributes, I appeal to you. Attending one training session is never enough. You have to follow our action plan to be successful in the interview arena. You have to be completely committed to this training. Formulate a plan, rehearse it, calculate your every move, so that when you enter the arena, you enter with confidence and empowering presence, the presence that proves to any judge you have caught fire.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for having me, Bob. Well, the only thing we forgot to have for tonight was some popcorn, huh? What an entertaining show, Curtis. Thank you very much. Do we want to take do we have time for a few questions, or do we want to do that? Any questions for Curtis? Let me do the microphone run here so we can make sure we hear everybody. And we still have our music playing, so we got a backdrop for your music.
Hi, Curtis. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
When you were talking about the video, creating a video, I don't see how that could fit with applying online, because most of the firms I've been applying with, it's just a click, send your resume, click here, click there. There's no place to attach, there's no email that you can send it to.
Right, like everyone here that's teaching networking right now will tell you, that's just almost, you do have to fill out the online application and tell your connection there that you have that, but you've got to find a recruiter or an assistant recruiter through a friend or someone on LinkedIn that will try to help you get an interview to get in the door. There are just too many people doing that for them to even see you, even know who you are. You just get lost in the shuffle. So if you especially if you send this video in a short email to an assistant recruiter or recruiter at the corporation, they're going to be like, oh wow, come look at this. She's good. She's really good. We'd like to meet with her. So you got to do something different to get around that online application process. But you want to do that first, because they're going to say, have you filled out our online application? You need to be able to say, yes, I've already done that step.
Thank you.
Yeah. Going over it about is what you're doing. Good question. Yes?
Are you asking a question? Hi, Curtis. Thank you again. This is, I think, my third time that I've
heard you speak, and I always learn something, so thank you very much. Going back to one of your last slides, about the salary conversation. Point 1 was only state what you are currently making. But then point 5 said, never give an exact figure to a potential employer. How do you reconcile the two?
Right, the exact figure is, what are you looking for? We know you're making 55, but what would you accept? They're trying to get you for 60. Okay, if you go in and get your accomplishments on the table, you get 8 out of 10 of those accomplishments on the table, they may offer you 70. But if you say, I would accept 60, a lot of people do it. Believe me, I'm an expert at getting a number out of people. It's my job, not to downsell people. I need to know what your bottom line is, because if you're wasting everybody's time, I can't waste my client's time. So I've got to know. But that's it. It's never give them an exact figure of what you're looking for. Tell them what you're making. Let them make the decision what you're worth. They may offer you 75. You may be so good. I had a guy that he was at 90 plus bonus, about 100. This is a big enough company so I can say it, Northrop Grumman. And he was in California. We had to move him out here. And my client gave him 140 plus a 10K sign-on. He was that good. That was huge. That's the biggest bump I ever had in my 15 years of recruiting. I was shocked. I was in shock. I'm like, okay, yeah, we'll take it. I'll talk him into it.
Is it ever a bad idea, or is it a good idea to, if you're wanting, been out of employment, out of a job for some time, and you offer to take a lesser amount? You tell them your job is, say 50, but you're willing to take, 45.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with a 5K cut, at 50, but you're not going to take a job at 35, because college graduates are getting that or better, and so you gotta hold your number up there, just and during the time you're unemployed, they're going to want to know what you've been doing. So you've got to fill that gap, but taking some courses, educating yourself, coming to Career Network Ministry is a great place. I went to Career Network Ministry almost every Tuesday night, you say, to become educated, and I took different courses there. Believe me, Washington knows about Career Network Ministry. So these are good things to talk about. That'll help build value too, but you got to script those accomplishments. Everybody's got to start on that tonight. Yes, ma'am.
I still have a question about the salary requirement that a lot of online applications ask you for, and the field will have an asterisk, so it's a requirement, and the field only wants a figure, not a range, and so I oftentimes don't know how to handle that.
Yeah, that's when you're forced into putting something, or it won't even let you apply. That's a difficult one. What I do is I would get with the friend or the person that works there and find out what the range is, if you can't find it out from the HR recruiter. And if the range on the job is 70 to 90K and you're already at 70, then I would put 85. I'd go for a decent bump, especially if you know you're good and you're going to go in there and nail it. Remember, if you know you're going to go in there and be the first person to walk out of the room when you take the test, you can ask for more money. You can ask for more because you're going to be the best one, and they're going to know it.
Hi, I'm just trying to figure out, I'm a consultant.
Yes.
In IT, so I have more of a billable rate.
Yes.
So how do you answer, what are you making, other than just $50 an hour?
Well, here's the thing. Are you looking for like a permanent corporate job now?
Correct.
Okay, so it's a little tricky for consultants because employers look at people like us as everybody's a consultant, right? Everybody's an expert at something, because we consider ourselves experts. But when we actually go back into the workforce, what are we truly worth? So you're going to have to sell your skill sets based on the job description and then see what they offer you. And say, well, gosh, I know you're making $100 an hour, but that's a lot of money. That's much more than we're willing. So you may be willing to take 150 or 125, and say, well, I would be interested to know what you feel is reasonable. We can talk about that once we've talked, and but kind of take control of it a little bit. You are a consultant, so take control of the situation a little bit and say, would you mind me coming in? Let's discussing what I could do for you first, and say money is not my main motivating factor here.
and let them know that. So, and then see what they offer you. But you'll have to have the skill sets. Could I go into a large publicly traded corporation right now and be a director of recruiting? No, I've never done metrics. There's several things I haven't done. So you have to talk about what you've done. You need to be a fit for that job. Then you have room to negotiate. But most corporations right now around here are not starting anybody off at 200 right now, but they might get to 125 to 150, and they might be closer to 150. You might get a 30K bonus. It's getting closer to 200. Good question. That's good. There are a lot of consultants in the room. Right back here.
Curtis, let me jump in real quick because I'm just curious. You know, we talk about accomplishments and resumes, and then explaining or talking about your accomplishments in the interview process and point of being succinct and so forth. Is there any wisdom on how to parlay accomplishments from your resume into the interview, or what's the relationship between those two?
The resume is just the teaser. So the first line of your accomplishment is on the resume. Just what you did. Remember, it's what you did, how you did it, why it needed to be done, the overall benefit to the department or the company. What you did is the only thing you want on the resume, otherwise the resume is that long and nobody will read it. And cover letters, nobody's reading those things, they don't have time. They want to see your resume. So what you did is the only thing you want to put on your resume. In your perfect pitch video, the first line of each accomplishment. I created a macro in Excel. You heard John. I did this, I did that, I did this. Employees nominated me Employee of the Year. Executive Management named me Manager of the Year. You know, with the $2 billion influx. So he's talking about what he did, the awards he won, what he knows about the company. I'd be the perfect fit for your accounting director, 3.97 GPA from Brown University, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, this guy, you want to meet this guy. Is he for real? Bob listens to this guy and goes, is he for real? Is he real? Because if he is, I want to meet him. All this is true. I want to meet him. It's what his resume says. He must be true. He must be real. So that's a great question. Don't go into all this elaboration on your resume or they have no reason to meet you at all. Just a bullet, what you did. And those first 4 or 5 bullets that hit that employer or that recruiter or that recruiting assistant that knows nothing about the job except what she has on paper needs to match that job description, not word for word. I had a candidate do that to me once. I'm like, wait a minute, that's Dutch's job description. She just cut and pasted the job description, put it in her resume. Way to go, girl, you spent some time on that. Good question.
Hi, Curtis, thanks for your time. What trends are you seeing with virtual interviews? I've had 3 virtual interviews.
Yeah, they're doing Skype like crazy now. Yeah, so they're doing face-to-face like on Skype, so why not send a video to get yourself in front of them in the first place?
I've been in front of a panel of like 5 people.
Yeah.
And that's a little bit more daunting. And you look at where you're sitting, and if you've got everything nice and neat, even besides yourself.
Yeah,
I was wondering to see what trend you're seeing, because I've seen a lot more of those, and I'm getting more from other parts of the country.
Yeah.
So than here.
Yeah. I never met my assistant until tonight. He's been with me for 2 weeks already.
Yeah.
It was all Skype. It's all Skype. How you handle yourself on Skype. You can see enough about you. It's important, that video interview.
Chris, thank you for your time tonight. You mentioned appearance as being very, very important in an interview, and judging by yours, I think you have a lot more to share about that. And what I was going to ask is, men's fashions have changed a lot in the corporate world, and over the last 5 years, what do you think are the top 3 things that men should be aware of when they go in the interview? Secondly, how much would you pay for an interview suit, and how much would you pay for it to be tailored?
Right. Well, I got to tell you. Last week I flew to Bangkok to have the suit made. And it's the first time I ever had a tailor-made suit. And I put it on and I thought, well, one thing's for sure, I don't need a girdle. Any women in the room? When I was a kid, girdles and women, it's like a corset. So yeah, I mean, I was a little embarrassed when I put it on today. I thought, is this too tight? So anyway, but it's just how they do to make suits in Asia. But here's the deal. I would not spend a fortune. First of all, get it to fit you. Get everything to fit you. You don't need to fly to Asia to do it. I have a little job on the side of the airline. I get airline bennies, so I did treat myself whenever I got a cheap suit made. But anyway, that's where they make them cheap in Bangkok. But they're well done. I would go to Jose Banks, go to a Men's Warehouse, just get a dark suit. Ladies, same thing, dark suit. White shirt, very conservative, nothing that stands out. No clanging bracelets, ladies. No perfume, no body scents whatsoever. I don't want to smell anything. If I smell you, I'm not going to hire you. Either way. So, make sure. So, make sure that you look professional. Shine your shoes. You just need to look nice, and you don't need to spend a fortune on it. Bangkok, they'll make a suit like this for $380. 2 shirts, and throw in 2 shirts. That's how they close the deal. They love to negotiate. It's fun. But but go around here somewhere. Just go to. Men's Warehouse has nice suits. We have suits out here in the lobby that people can use for interviews. I never saw this before. I was so impressed. So if you can't afford to go out there and get yourself a suit, I think Career Network Ministry now can maybe help you out. So what a wonderful. I've got 2 I'm going to bring and donate. So yeah, I love that.
I think that if it's on a Friday, I've had candidates who thought that because it was Friday, it was okay not to wear the suit. Wrong, wrong, wrong. I don't care, even in law firms, they wear khaki pants and polo shirts if they're not in court. They wear $1,400 suits minimum when they're in court. If it's a Friday, don't be fooled into thinking that business casual is okay.
Right.
It is not.
What Meryl Streep say? No style, no sense of fashion. She says, no, that wasn't a question. You need to walk in looking like $1 million, even if you're going in for an administrative assistant job that pays $30,000, 1 year out of school or whatever. You need to look nice. And your haircut and everything. Your ladies, have your hair done. I know that's expensive, but you do need to, you need to look. If your roots are showing, that's not good. If your nails haven't been done, that's not good. Chipped nails, things like that, people notice that stuff. They really do. It really irks them.
So in the same vein, what if the company touts, like, we don't want you to dress up for your interview? If you're interviewing at those types of companies, what do you...
If they're like this, if it's Facebook and they say, whatever, we're Facebook, come in jeans and a sweater, I would still wear khakis and a dress shirt. Okay. I wouldn't wear a suit, but I'd wear khakis. I don't know how many companies around here would say that. It's a very conservative area in D.C. This is very conservative here in Washington.
Just real quick on that, I was told,
always dress...
Just very quickly, what do you think? I was told, always dress 1 level above the job you're interviewing for.
Just business suit. Unless you're going to be a construction worker, working at McDonald's, or maybe working like a TJ Maxx outlet or whatever. That's maybe a little different. But I would still, TJ Maxx is the clothing store, so I'd still wear a suit. So, I'm too old school maybe. I don't think so. No, if I was talking to Harvard University graduates right now, tell them to get the best suit they can get their hands on, get in it, and get out there. So I still think you need it, because you know what, it shows respect for the interviewer. You come in nicely dressed. That young man right there had a suit and tie on his Skype call, and he was sitting up tall, and he lit up on my screen, and I'm sitting there in sweats. I just finished worked out. I said, okay, now I'm embarrassed. Shame on me, Curtis. But anyway, I had to work it in. But anyway, I was so impressed by his appearance on the screen, and that really matters. It really does. Good point.
Well, Curtis, we're looking at the hour here. I know you probably can hang for a few more questions from the group. Please, let's give Curtis a round of applause for And I don't think I'm ever going hiking with you. You look a little scary in that video, I'll tell you. This is great stuff. I think probably Curtis would say to you guys that one of the toughest things is this is all great information, but you got to do the homework, right? The wisdom is here. You got to apply yourself and practice and do these things, because it's not just sitting and listening to good ideas. You've got to do the work. So on that note, Curtis, thank you. Just as a reminder, you're welcome to network, but we do get kicked out here at 10:30. So no more networking past that. And we're going to have our wonderful Edie give us a chance to wrap us up in prayer tonight. And again, congratulations on your victory lap. So here you go, Edie.
One more time. Let's stand on the guard. Father, thank you. You're sweet and you're wonderful. We are so glad that you brought us the servant that you brought before us tonight. We learned something. We're going to carry away a lot of wisdom. Lord, just help us tonight to do 2 things. One, to digest and to incorporate what we have learned tonight. Number 2, prepare us. Make us ready for the games. Make us fit for the battle. Help us to prepare our minds and hearts, our resumes, whatever presentation we're going to do. Sharpen us up. Make us fit for what's going to be coming before us in the very near future. We love you. We honor you. And the thing we want to do most is to be the kind of employee that will help people and edify you. We consider this an act of worship. Working is not just a thing to us. This is a serious matter, and we know that you consider it a serious matter. We want to be in the place that you have already ordained for us to be. And so, Lord, we want to use this knowledge that you've given us so that this will happen. We claim it. It is ours. Victory, it is ours. We thank you. Take us all to our homes in peace and in safety. In Jesus' name, amen.